Hello students, welcome once again. Students, I hope all of you are safe and healthy at your home, and you know that your half-yearly exams are fast approaching, so this is your revision class. And in your half-yearly exam, your first chapter is study of weather. So here is a difference between weather and climate. So what is the difference between weather and climate? Weather is the state of the atmosphere over a short period of time, and climate is the average condition of the atmosphere over a period of 35 years or more. Weather can change constantly from minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, or season to season, and climate stays constant over long periods. And you can say that the climate is average weather over time and space. Weather refers to the atmospheric conditions over a particular place, and climate is the average weather conditions over a much larger area like a region or a country. Weather depends on elements like temperature, precipitations, pressure, winds, and humidity that vary daily. But climate is the aggregate of all these factors over a long period of time. The study of weather is known as meteorology, and the study of climate is known as climatology. Next topic is elements of weather. So what is elements? Elements of weather means what is the factors which affect the weather. So what is the factors? The first factors which affect the weather is temperature. Temperature refers to the degree of hotness or coldness of the air. It is measured by an instrument called the thermometer. Second element which affect the weather is latitude. Latitude means owing to the spherical shape of the earth, the angle at which the sun rays strike the earth is not the same everywhere on the surface of the earth. The sun rays are vertical or at 90 degrees over the equator. The angle of the sun rays at the two poles is 0 degree. In the tropics, the sun's rays are almost vertical throughout the year and are therefore stronger. And as one moves away from the equator, the sun rays become increasingly slanted and are therefore weaker. So temperature decreases with increasing latitude. This means that the temperature is higher closer to the equator and near the tropics, but it is decreases as one goes polewards. Third element of weather is altitudes. Altitude means height. Altitude is the height of land above sea level, and it is one of the factors that affect temperature. Next is distance from the sea. When the land is hot, the comparatively cool air from the sea cools it. When the land gets cold, the comparatively warm air from the sea makes it warm. And fifth factors which affect the weather is ocean currents. A stream of water in an ocean constantly flowing in a single direction is called an ocean currents. Ocean currents are of two types, warm and cold. Warm currents move from lower latitudes towards high latitude and generally make the coastal areas in higher latitudes warmer than usual. Cold currents move from higher latitudes to lower latitudes and lower the temperature of the places along the coast in lower latitudes. Next is winds. Winds take on the characteristics of the regions where they originate. And seventh element of weather is cloud cover. The amount of solar radiation reaching the earth's surface and the amount of terrestrial radiation So what is terrestrial radiation? Terrestrial radiation refers to source of radiation that are in the soil, water and vegetation. So the amount of solar radiation reaching the earth's surface and the amount of terrestrial radiation leaving the earth's surface are affected by the presence of clouds. Days with clear skies are very hot and nights quite cool, as seen in hot desert of the world. And last factors which affect the weather is slope and aspect. A steep slope usually cannot support soil and vegetation and is unsuitable for human habitation. So it is usually bare and experiences a more rapid change in temperature than a gentle slope. Aspects refers to the direction of a slope with respect to the sun rays. Next is atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is the pressure that the atmosphere exerts on the surface of the earth because of its weight. There is close relationship between pressure and temperature. High temperature means low pressure and high pressure means low temperature. Means there is a opposite relationship between temperature and pressure. When temperature is high, then pressure is low, and when pressure is high, then temperature is always low. So there is a opposite relation between temperature and pressure. The pressure exerted by air is measured by an instrument called the barometer, from which instrument atmospheric pressure measured barometer is called a barometer. Atmospheric pressure is not the same everywhere and varies from time to time. It mainly varies with altitude and temperature. Next is pressure belts of the earth. Students, you know that there is a 7 pressure belts which are found in the earth, and the main pressure belts found on the surface of the earth are: first is equatorial low pressure belt. This is the globe, and in the middle of the globe this is the equator line, and this part is northern hemisphere and this part is southern hemisphere. So this is the equator line. This line is called the equatorial low pressure belt because in the equator line the sun rays is lie direct, so there is a high temperature. When the temperature is high, the pressure is always low. So equator line is a low pressure belt. So this is a equatorial low pressure belt. The high region near the equator is generally the hottest. This is the equator regions, and this region is generally the hottest. Therefore, the air in this region heats up, expands and becomes lighter. When the air becomes heat, then it becomes light and then it moves up. Therefore, this light air rises, creating a low pressure belt in this region. This belt is also called the doldrums or region of calm condition, as there is an absence of surface wind. This region is also called the doldrum region. Second pressure belts of the world is subtropical high pressure belts. This is the region of subtropical high pressure belt. Subtropical high pressure belt in the northern hemisphere and subtropical high pressure belt in the southern hemisphere. These belts of high pressure exist between 30 degree and 35 degree north and south latitude. This is a north latitude and this is the south latitude. And just beyond the tropics, the air that ascends in the equatorial region started to descend here after losing its heat. The descending air converges and settles near the subtropics, creating a high pressure belt. This belt is also called the horse latitude. This belt is also called the horse latitude, and this is the subtropical high pressure belt. So first belt is equatorial low pressure belt, second is subtropical high pressure belt in the northern hemisphere, and subtropical high pressure belt in southern hemisphere. Next is subpolar low pressure belt. The belt extends between 60° to 65° latitudes in both hemispheres. This is the subpolar low pressure belt, and next is polar high pressure belt around the north pole and south pole. The air is so cold and heavy. You know that the north pole and the south pole areas are very cold. So the air is very heavy. When the area is cold, the air is heavy, and that is unable to rise high above the surface. And when air becomes heavy, then they cannot reach up. So this here the air is very heavy and it is unable to rise high. The weight of the cold air creates a high pressure belt over the poles. So because here is the temperature is very low, so this area becomes high pressure belt. These high pressure belts are called polar high pressure belts. Polar high pressure belts in northern hemisphere and polar high pressure belts in southern hemisphere. The pressure belts described above are not permanent in character. They keep shifting with the movement of the sun. Air pressure depends on temperature, and therefore as the sun moves from one tropic to another, the pressure belts also do the same. This phenomena is called the shifting of the pressure belts. Next is humidity. Humidity refers to the amount of moisture or water vapor present in the air. The actual amount of moisture present is called absolute humidity, which is expressed in grams per cubic meter of air. Humidity is an important element of weather. Air with a high percentage of relative humidity has great potential for condensation. So what is the condensation? Condensation is the process by which water vapor in the air gets converted into tiny droplets of water or ice. The process of water vapor in the air gets converted into tiny droplets or droplets of water and ice is called the condensation. It is opposite of evaporation. Condensation is the opposite of evaporation. Evaporation So what is evaporation? Evaporation means when liquid turns into gas. It's called the evaporation. Evaporation takes place when air is dry, but condensation occurs only after air is saturated. So what is the meaning of saturated? Saturated means when air holding maximum amount of water vapor, then the air becomes saturated. So this is the difference between condensation and evaporation. The different forms of condensations are clouds, mist, fog, dew and frost. Next is precipitation. So what is precipitation? When tiny droplets of water in the atmosphere join to form bigger droplets that are too heavy to remain suspended in the air, they fall to the earth's surface. This release of atmospheric moisture onto the earth's surface is called the precipitation. There is a different types of precipitation. First is rain, drizzle, snow, sleet and hail. This is the types of precipitation. So what is rain? It is the most common form of precipitation. It consists of large drops of water. And drizzle, light rain with drops of smaller size is called drizzle. And snow, it is the feathery flakes of frozen moisture that falls the earth's surface. And sleet, it is a mixture of rain and snow. And hail, frozen raindrop form ice pellets and fall as hail. So these are the forms of precipitation. Next is rainfall. Rainfall, there is a three types of rainfall: conventional rainfall, relief or orographic rainfall, and cyclonic or frontal rain. Now I am going to revise the wind. Wind is air in motion. Wind blows from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. Wind cannot be seen, but it can be felt. It has both direction and speed and therefore can be measured. There is a different types of winds. First is planetary winds. Planetary winds are also called the permanent or prevailing winds, as they blow the air round in the same areas. And there is a different types of planetary winds. First is trade winds. Trade winds blow from the subtropical high pressure belts towards the equatorial low pressure belts. Means trade winds blow from horse latitude towards the doldrums. They are constant in state and direction and are therefore called trade winds. These winds blow towards the equator from the northeast in the northern hemisphere and from the southeast in the southern hemisphere. Second is prevailing westerlies. Prevailing westerlies blow from the subtropical high pressure belts to the subtropical low pressure belts. For example, between 30 degree and 60 degree north and south. They are not constant in strength or direction. These winds are also known as southwesterlies in the northern hemisphere and northwesterlies in the southern hemisphere, based on the direction from which they blow. Third type of planetary winds is polar winds. They blow from the polar high pressure belts to the subpolar low pressure belts in the northern hemisphere. Students, as you can see in this image, there are different types of planetary winds. This is the doldrums, and this is a high pressure belt, this is a low pressure belt, and here is a high pressure belt. This diagram has been given in your book, page number 40, and this is the image of the planetary winds. And polar, next wind is periodic winds. Periodic winds blow in a definite direction during a particular period only, either during the day, night, or during the summer winter season. Land and sea breeze and the monsoons are examples of a periodic winds. Next is variable winds. These winds affect only small areas and last for only few days. And local winds. These winds blow for a short period of time over a very small area. Local winds blow in a short period of time and over a very small area. Some local winds like Lu, Simoom and Foam are warm winds. Others such as the Mistral, Buran and Pampuru are cold winds. Next topic is cloud cover and sunshine. Cloud cover plays an important role in the weather at a place. It not only reduces the amount of insolation but also reduces the amount of radiation from the surface of the earth escaping into space. The cloud cover in the sky is expressed in eighths of the total sky or octaves. It expressed in eighths or total sky or octaves, and which are shown in weather maps as disks, shadows in different proportions. For example, 2.5 is shown by a disk in which a quarter is shaded, and 4.5 is shown by a disk half shaded. 6.5 is shown by a 3/4 shaded disk. So this is the cloud cover and sunshine. As you can see in this image, this is the cloud cover indicated in octaves. This is cloud covers image. So students, is all for today. Rest of the chapters we would be revise in the next video. Do revise and learn it. Thank you.